In the last lecture, we studied about Hilbert transform and some of its properties: linearity, DC offset, time shifting, time dilation, convolution, time derivative, relationship with even and odd function. We are left with discussion of two very important properties which have wide application in communication systems. One is the low pass to high pass products, which we'll discuss now, and another is Hilbert transform of generalized amplitude modulated signal. With this, we'll bring a closure to the discussion on Hilbert transform. So, low pass, high pass products. Consider GT, whose Fourier transform is GF. It's low pass in nature. That means for GF is equal to 0 for frequency mod f greater than equal to W, and is non-zero for mod f less than W. That means it's a low pass with its frequency spectrum between minus W to plus W. HT, whose Fourier transform is HF, is high pass in nature. So HF is 0 for mod f less than W. That means between minus W to plus W, HF is equal to 0. HF is not equal to 0 for mod f greater than equal to W. That means it's non-zero. It's a high pass nature function. The Hilbert transform of GT-HT will soon show it is GT, original signal remains as it is, low pass signal remains as it is, H cap T. That means only the high pass signal needs to be Hilbert transform. The low pass signal remains as it is. So let's see the proof. Let's consider the product being ST. ST is GT-HT. The frequency response of SF, frequency spectrum, is GF convolved with HF. So GF convolved with, now HF can be written as, since HF is a high pass function, high pass, as you can see here, HF is 0 for mod f less than W, between minus W to W it's 0. So HF can be written as HF-UF, the positive spectrum of HF, and HF minus UF, which is the negative spectrum of HF. That means this is between W to infinity, this is between minus W to minus infinity. UF is our general step function. So now note that GF convolved with HF-UF is equal to 0, because GF is limited between 0 to W, minus W to W. HF-UF is between W to infinity. So their convolution, they do not have an overlap. Since they do not have an overlap, their convolution, if you view the convolution as is equal to 0 for f less than 0. So if you view the convolution, so this convolution means this HF-UF is flipped to the negative side and then shifted. Okay, that is the pictorial representation of convolution. We recall from signal systems. So GF is between minus W to W. HF-UF is between 0 to from W to infinity. When it's flipped, it becomes it occupies the spectrum from minus infinity to minus W, and then when it is shifted for f less than 0, it is shifted to in the left side towards negative f direction. So there is no overlap between the spectrum of GF and the spectrum of the shifted flipped version of HF-UF. When it is shifted even to much more further in the negative frequency direction, the overlap almost ceases to exist, completely ceases to exist, and henceforth it is equal to 0. Correspondingly, you note that GF convolved with HF U minus F is equal to 0 for f greater than 0. GF spectrum is between minus W to W. HF U minus F has a spectrum between minus infinity to minus W. So convolution means now when this is flipped across f equal to 0, so GF spectrum and this spectrum, they barely have any overlap, because this flip portion HFU minus F is now from W to infinity. So GF is from minus W to W. For f greater than 0, this is shifted, the flipped version of this is shifted even more towards positive f direction, and there is almost no overlap. So henceforth their convolution is 0. So again, please try to pictorial understand these two results. One is GF convolved with the positive frequency of HF is 0 for negative, for shift of f less than 0, and GF convolved with negative frequency of negative portion of HF is equal to 0 for f greater than 0. We will utilize these two pieces of information, plug it there. So SF is a GF convolved with HF. S cap F by definition, which is the Hilbert transform of GTHT, is S cap T. Fourier transform of S cap F by definition is minus J signum F SF. So minus J SF is, we already know SF is this. So signum F for f greater than 0, what do we have? We only have a component, this component, and that is positive. So we have GF convolved with HFUF. The other portion is 0. For f less than 0, signum F is negative. So we have plus J, and SF, the component of SF which remains for f less than 0 is GF convolved with HF U of minus F, because this portion is equal to 0 for f less than 0. Okay, very good. So we have minus J GF convolved with HFUF, positive portion of HF, plus J GF convolved with HF minus F, negative portion of HF. You combine this together, so GF convolved with, this is minus J HFUF and plus J HF U of minus F. If you combine these two together, minus J HFUF, so which is basically minus J signum F HF, and for f greater than 0, for f less than 0, it is signum F is minus, so minus J and minus 1 becomes plus J, which you get here, J HF U of minus F. Okay, so this combined together gives us GF convolved with minus J signum F HF. Observe now, minus J signum F HF is nothing but our H cap of F, right? Okay, so the Hilbert transform of the high pass signal, and its spectrum is H cap of F. So S cap F is GF convolved with HF. Okay, now if you go back to the time domain, what do you get? ST is GT multiplied by H cap T. This is a very, very important result, because only the high pass signal needs to be transformed. Immediate consequence that of application in communication theory. You see two examples which we have noted down. Example 1. Recall two lectures ago we had discussed something known as a general representation of a band pass signal. We wrote the envelope phase representation, and another is in phase quadrature and quadrature phase representation, IQ representation. In the IQ representation, we had of a general bandpass signal, we have MIT, M subscript I, which the M is message signal, subscript I is basically in phase component, cosine 2 pi FCT, FC is a carrier frequency, plus message signal quadrature component MQT, which is a low pass or baseband basically signal, sine 2 pi FCT, carrier frequency is FC. MIT and MQT, MI in phase and MQ quadrature phase, they are band limited to W, message signal. The carrier frequency is typically greater than W, FC is greater than W. So if we take the Hilbert transform of this, what do we get? Mi remains as it is using this result. Only the high frequency portion is Hilbert transform. Cosine becomes sine plus MQ. Sine becomes minus cosine. So Hilbert transform of in phase component and cosine carrier frequency plus quadrature phase component sine carrier frequency is basically in phase component of the message signal sine carrier frequency minus quadrature phase cos carrier frequency. This was the result, we had written down couple of slides earlier. If you try to, you see here we had written down for a general bandpass signal xt is this, x cap t is this. That time we did not prove this result. Now this establishes the result that we had used before. Okay, good. Another very important function is sinc function. Okay, sinc t, which is sine pi t divided by pi t. At t tends to 0, it is 1. Thereafter, it decreases. It is, for example, if I have an ideal low pass filter. Ideal low pass filter is a brick wall response between minus W to plus W, let's say, where it is 1, the magnitude response. It is 0 otherwise for mod f greater than W. The impulse response of that is a sinc function. Okay. So now if you want to calculate the Hilbert transform of the sinc function of the impulse response of a system, we had studied bandpass system, right? Equivalent low pass representation of a bandpass system. So we often need this result. What is it? Sinc t. This is sine pi t by pi t. Sine pi t can be written as 2 sine pi t by 2 cosine pi t by 2. So cosine pi t by 2 remains as it is. 2 sine pi t by 2 divided by pi t, we can take 2 to the denominator side. So we have sine pi t by 2 divided by t by 2, and we have sinc function. Sinc of t by 2. So we have sinc t is sinc of t by 2 cosine pi t by 2. Very good. What about the frequency domain representation of this? Cosine pi t by 2 has a frequency spectrum located at a certain frequency. Sine sinc t by 2, we know this is a low pass brick wall response, the low pass signal. So low pass signal, and then we have an impulse in frequency domain which represents the cosine. So if we take the Hilbert transform, the low pass signal remains as it is, which is sinc t by 2. The Hilbert transform of this one is sine pi t by 2. So Hilbert transform of sinc t is sinc t by 2 sine pi t by 2. This is, you can directly substitute this in the definition of Hilbert transform also, and you can obtain this result. But probably will take a few more steps. The second most important property is Hilbert transform of a general amplitude modulated signal. We said general amplitude modulated signal. So I have a signal GT and I have a carrier cosine 2 pi fct plus theta. We want to calculate the Hilbert transform of this. Okay. Let's see. The result is GT will be GT convolved with cosine 2 pi fct by pi t cosine 2 pi fct plus theta plus GT convolved with sine 2 pi fct by pi t sine 2 pi fct plus theta. I will try to obtain this result. Okay. So GT can be decomposed into GLT plus GHT. Spectrum wise, cosine 2 pi fct has a carrier frequency located at fc. So GLT is the component of low pass component of GT between the frequency DC to FC, or basically minus FC to FC, if we consider both side frequencies. GHT is a component of the signal which is high pass component which is a frequency spectrum between fc2 plus infinity and minus fc2 minus infinity on the negative frequency side. So we decompose the signal spectrum wise into a low pass component and a high pass component. How do we decompose? Basically, we pass GT through a brick wall frequency ideal low pass filter. So ideal low pass filter, in the frequency domain is multiplication of the spectrum by frequency band, which is magnitude is unity between minus fc to fc. In time domain, it is convolution. Convolution with what? Convolution with the sinc function. Okay. So we know that the impulse response of an ideal low pass filter is this: 2fc sinc 2fct. So GLT is basically GT convolved with sine 2 pi fct divided by 2 pi fct, and 2fc cancels, so pi t. What is GHT? High frequency portion. Once we have taken the low frequency portion out, it is GT minus GLT. So GT minus GLT. GT minus GLT can be written as GT convolved with, if in terms of impulse response, delta t. So GT convolved with delta t is GT minus GT convolved with impulse response of the low pass filter, ideal low pass filter, which is 2fc sinc 2fct is GLT. So we can. So this is the impulse response of the ideal low pass filter. This is the impulse response of the ideal high pass filter, with a cutoff frequency of fc, delta t minus 2fc sinc 2fct. So we have decomposed into two components. Now we use the low pass high pass result property of the Hilbert transform. So when we have Hilbert transform GT cosine 2 pi fct plus theta, we have GLT, GT is GL plus GH. So GL is a low pass component which remains as it is. So we have Hilbert transform of cosine 2 pi fct plus theta. Plus, for the second case, GH, this is now the high pass component. Cosine, carrier frequency, this cosine 2 pi fct plus theta is the low pass component now. So we have Hilbert transform of this guy would give us Hilbert transform of GH. And since this is low pass, this comes out of the Hilbert transform operator. Hilbert transform of cosine is sine. So we have GL sine 2 pi fct plus theta. Fine. What is GL? GL is GT convolved with 2fc sinc 2fct. So we got the first term already. We got the second term already. So GL is GT convolved with this impulse response ideal low pass and sine 2 pi fct plus theta. We got it. Very good. So for a amplitude modulator signal where the carrier frequency is high, GT has low pass component. It's basically this. Now, if we have component of GT even for frequencies greater than fc, we have now to bring in this portion, which is Hilbert transform of GHT. Let's see what it is. Hilbert transform of GHT is GT convolved with the ideal high pass function delta t minus 2fc sinc 2fct, and by definition Hilbert transform is convolution with 1 by pi t. So GT convolved with delta t convolved with 1 by pi t is 1 by pi t. Delta t convolved with any function is the function itself, minus 2fc sinc 2fct convolved with 1 by pi t. So GT convolved with 1 by pi t minus 2fc is a constant. Now sinc 2fct convolved with 1 by pi t. This is nothing but Hilbert transform of sinc 2fct. We just now use the low pass high pass relationship property to establish the previous result. Remember, Hilbert transform of sinc t is sinc t by 2 sine pi t by 2. Okay, because this was a low pass function in frequency domain. So sinc t is sinc t by 2 sine pi t by 2. Here also what we have is sinc 2fct is sinc fct sine pi fct. Just bringing in this result. Sinc t is sinc t by 2 sine pi t by 2. Here we have sinc 2fct is sinc fct sine pi fct. Okay, fine. So GT convolved with 1 by pi t, we take common, which is 1 minus 2. Sinc is sine by 2 pi, sine 2 pi, sine pi fct. We have sine pi fct, so sine square pi fct. Divide by, we have pi fct, fc cancels, so we have 2, and yeah, we take 1 by pi t common, so pi t goes outside. So we have 1 minus 2 sine square pi fct, which is nothing but cos 2 pi fct. So this is gt convolved with cos 2 pi fct divided by pi t. Okay, and this completes our total result. So from the low pass component we get this, from the high pass component we get gt convolved with cos 2 pi fct by pi t multiplied by cosine 2 pi fct plus theta. So this is the high pass component. So for a general amplitude modulated signal, the high pass component gives this, low pass component gives this result. High pass component gives, the high pass component gives the in phase component, you see here. Low pass component gives the quadrature phase component. High pass component gives the in phase component, because cosine remains cosine. Quadrature, the low pass component gives the quadrature component. Low pass component of GT gives the quadrature component, because it's sine. In order finally to conclude the discussion on Hilbert transform, we just briefly write down the few results which we often need. Hilbert transform of delta t, an impulse. What is the Hilbert transform of impulse? Hilbert transform of a function is function convolved with 1 by pi t. So delta t convolved with 1 by pi t is 1 by pi t. Hilbert transform of e power jt is minus j e power jt. From there you can derive cosine and sine. Hilbert transform of e power minus jt is plus j e power jt, e power minus jt, sorry. Hilbert transform of a rectangular function, we did for pulse. This, just you shift the pulse from 0 to tau to minus tau by 2 to tau by 2. You have, we are not deriving it again. So yeah, rectangular t function with even function ut plus half minus ut minus half. So Hilbert transform would be, just substitute in the derivation which we did last class. A small example, yeah, this example 1 by pi ln t by t minus tau, this was for ut minus tau. Just shift in time and you arrive at t plus half divided by t minus half. 1 by pi ln t plus half divided by mod of t plus half divided by t minus half, or 2t plus 1 divided by 2t minus 1. Hilbert transform of 1 by 1 plus t square. This I leave you as an exercise to compute back at home. It is t times 1 by, it is t by 1 plus t square. Just scaled by a factor of t. Okay. This is also very easy to do. You decompose 1 by 1 plus t square as partial fraction of, and then use linearity property. So t square plus 1, we have 1 by 1 plus jt, I mean t plus j, t minus j, then 1 plus j, 1 minus j, and then you can utilize the properties of Hilbert transform to arrive at this result. So this completes our discussion on bandpass signal systems. We motivated ourselves how Hilbert transform arose when we defined complex envelope, pre-envelope, by keeping only the positive frequency spectrum. Then we went to discuss about Hilbert transform, some examples of Hilbert transform, then few sets of properties, along with two most famous property. One is the product of low pass and high pass, where we established an important result in communication theory, the in phase quadrature phase component and its Hilbert transform. And another is general amplitude modulated signal, where the signal has both low frequency portion and high frequency portion. So next lecture onwards, we'll discuss about amplitude modulation. We'll utilize some of these results when we discuss about certain kinds of amplitude modulated signals. to analyze the signal in time domain. Okay. Thank you very much.